And viewers, we're cutting across to some more breaking updates that we are getting with respect to the spy ship that was going towards Sri Lanka, where now we are seeing how the Sri Lankan government, in fact, had stated. In fact, there's a statement that has come out from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka that avails itself of this opportunity to renew the Embassy of People's Republic of China in Colombo, the assurances of its highest consideration. Now, this is a statement that has come to light from the Sri Lankan government, and we have seen how China had also thumbed its nose at India in Sri Lanka, and how the spy ship was expected to go towards Sri Lanka, and we had seen the concerns raised by the Indian government as well, as far as the movement of that spy ship is also considered, moving from China towards Sri Lanka, where in fact the Indian authorities had also made it clear that they are dubious about this development, and in fact they had stated that the Indian naval bases on the east coast and the ISRO launch stations at the Chandipur will be vulnerable in the presence of such a vessel that was expected to move, is what we are learning. Now, to recap, viewers, for the spy ship that was expected to move was called Yuan Wang 5. It is in fact a Chinese research and survey vessel that was expected to be en route to Hambantota, a strategically important deep sea port developed mostly using loans from Beijing. And now we had seen that Yongwang class ships, in fact, are used to track satellite, rocket and intercontinental ballistic missiles and launches as well. And China has around 7 of these tracking ships that are capable of operating throughout the Pacific, Atlantic and the Indian Oceans. And the ships supplement Beijing's land-based tracking stations as well. Now, this is a recap for the viewers just joining in. In fact, this was the spy ship, the Chinese spy ship that was expected to move from there towards Sri Lanka to Hambantota. In fact, a very important deep-sea port that has been developed mostly using loans from Beijing. Now, there was a specific time period for which Yuan Wang 5 was expected to be at the port till around 11th of August is what we were learning. But now, in the massive development, after India has also voiced the concern over such a movement of such a ship from China towards Sri Lanka, it also makes vulnerable. It also is a questionable movement of such a ship by the Indian authorities, as they have said that this will make the point of the Eastern Command also that will come in the entire trajectory of it. Niranjan is also joining me from the Mumbai newsroom. Niranjan, speak to us about the significance of this kind of a spy ship, Yuan Wang 5, that was expected to go towards Hambantota. And
yes,
and how India had also responded to it, this entire movement.
Well, there were huge concerns, first of all, over this ship that was headed towards China, and Sri Lanka has now, in the wake of these reports, and I think the manner in which India has spoken up, they have decided to block this ship. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Sri Lanka has, in a letter, in a communique to China, said that they were referring to the Chinese ministry note conveying the clearances. Earlier, they had cleared basically the visit of the vessel Yuan Wang 5 to enter the port of Hambantota for replenishment purposes. Now, the ministry, that is the Sri Lankan Foreign Affairs Ministry, has requested that the arrival date of the vessel Yuan Wang 5 in Hambantota be deferred until further consultations are made on this matter. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Sri Lanka also, saying that they avail this opportunity to renew the Embassy of People's Republic of China in Colombo, the assurances of its highest consideration. So essentially, they've blocked this visit in the wake of all the concerns that India had also, conveyed to Sri Lanka. They have said that it has been deferred. They have said it's been deferred until further consultations are made. So even Sri Lanka waking up to this serious concern over this vessel. This is a research. It's called a research stroke survey vessel. It was built in 2007, has a carrying capacity of about 11,000 tons, and it had departed from China, and it's right now sailing very close to Taiwan. It's right now sailing very close to Taiwan, and China's of course conducting these live fire drills, holding military drills near Taiwan, surrounding and circling Taiwan, and according to several diplomatic circles in Sri Lanka, the designated purpose was for replenishment, but India had officially expressed its concerns. India had expressed its concerns over docking of this vessel at Hambantota, as it was shown. It was shown as a research vehicle, and it was very, very close to the Indian mainland. And the Chinese ambassador to Sri Lanka had essentially tried to sort of force Sri Lanka to give a permission. And they had also warned Sri Lanka that a denial of permission would have an impact on bilateral ties. So the fact that Sri Lanka has now stood up, to this Lankan threat, I think that's a very, very welcoming sign, and also proof that India shares very, very close ties with Sri Lanka. In fact, the entire Sri Lankan crisis, according to many experts, was because of the debt trap of Sri Lanka and the sort of economic burden that Sri Lanka had put, that China had put on Sri Lanka, and India has actually stood shoulder to shoulder with Sri Lanka to tide over the crisis. Over $3.5 billion worth of aid, fuel, food, medicines, etc., that we've really helped them with, and I think it's beginning to show with the bilateral relations between both countries, with finally Sri Lanka standing up to China. So that's the big headline. Handing it back to you for now.
Well, absolutely, Niranjan, as you're also pointing out, of course, it is a very crucial location for the Chinese as well, as it is an important stop in its Belt and Road initiative.